Greetings, I'm Dev the Developer. This lesson is about the anchor tag, A. This is the tag that turns the web into a web. Relative paths, absolute paths, fragment identifiers, and the target attribute. By the end, you will be able to link anything. The anchor tag creates a hyperlink. The href attribute holds the destination. Whatever text, image, or element you put between the opening and closing tags becomes clickable. The basic structure looks like this. When a user clicks About Us, the browser navigates to whatever href points to. The link between the tags is called the link text, and it should clearly describe the destination. Click here tells the user nothing. About Us tells them exactly where they are going. Now, here is the discrepancy between best practice and what we are doing in these lessons. We are not using web servers. That means there is nothing to serve our index.html files when we use the folder path in our link URLs. Unfortunately, that means we need to explicitly put index.html in our links for this class. Now, with that out of the way, the most common use is linking to other pages on the same site. And for that, you use relative paths. A relative path points to a file based on its location relative to the current file. No domain, no protocol, just the path from here to there. This is the right choice when linking to other pages on the same website, because relative paths keep working even when the domain changes, like when you move from development to production. Let's look at a project structure and trace through the paths. The slash at the start makes these root relative paths. They always start from the root of the site and not from the current file's location. That makes them predictable regardless of which page you are on. You can also write relative paths based on the current file's position. 2 dots and a slash means go up one folder. If you're in a contact subfolder and you want to link to something in about, you could write ... about. Relative paths work within your own project, but when you need to link outside it entirely, the approach changes a little bit. An absolute path includes the full URL, including the protocol, domain, and the path. Absolute paths for external links, relative paths for internal links, that is a standard practice. Relative paths break if the other site changes its URL, but they work reliably within your own project. Links do not have to point to a different page at all. They can also jump to a specific section on the current page. That is what a fragment identifier does. It uses a hash symbol followed by the ID of the target element. This is how jump to section links work in long documents. First, you give the target element an ID, and then when the user clicks on one of those links, the browser scrolls to that section of the page. This works across pages too. You can link to a specific section on a different page by combining the page URL with the fragment. All of these links open in the same browser tab by default. One attribute changes that. Target controls where the browser sends the user when a link is clicked. Setting target equal to blank tells the browser to open the link in a new tab. This is commonly used for external links, so the user does not navigate away from your site when following a reference. Use target equals blank thoughtfully though. Forcing every link to open in a new tab is annoying. It takes control away from the user. A reasonable pattern is to use it for external links and leave internal links as default. Let the user decide when they want a new tab. The link tag with an href is the fundamental unit of navigation on the web. Relative paths for internal links, absolute paths for external, fragment identifiers to jump to sections, and target equals blank when you generally need a new tab. These tools plus a well-organized project structure gives you everything you need to build a connected site. Go connect some pages. Don't just watch it, do it.